Good day, friends. We have a new project on the bench and we have something really rather special, most definitely special looking. And I'm going to lift it up and show it you straight away. And look at this. What a fabulous looking guitar. And let's not make no bones about it. It's a Harley Benton. It's a Harley Benton SC Custom. It says on the back there, SC Custom line. SC, I would imagine, stands for single cut, which is this, single cut. So single cut custom. Bit of weight to it, medium weight I'd say. Looks absolutely fantastic. Nice looking bridge, nice looking tailpiece on there. It looks to be decent quality. You have some Grover tuners. You have some locking strap pins or strap locks on there. Made by Marvel. You have some Roswell pickups, I'll get to them in a minute. Switching wise, you do have a pull push, which is a coil split on both pickups, works really well. So I'd say you have a master, will that be a volume for one pickup, volume for another, and a tone for both? I'm not sure, I'll have to work that out. I've just gone to the page of this one on the Thomann site, and it's a 404 error page, so I've gone to the same kind of guitar, but the lemon version, lemon flame version. This is a blue, ocean blue flame. It's got a quadruple A flamed maple top, apparently. Really nice looking guitar. What's it say about it? Harley Benton SC Custom is all about warm tones and not just visually. The two Roswell vintage style humbuckers produce the lush full sounds you expect from this British guitar. Well, I'll tell you that straight away. No, they don't. These Roswell pickups are absolutely crap. And I'll tell you that because I've had it plugged in. They're rubbish. There's no warm tone about it. They will, what they do is they do put some sound into your amplifier. That's all that they do. Not very good at all. You take it from me. Anyway, the instant you reach for the pickup selector, switch over volume and tone controls, SC Custom will show you its rock heritage. For all its tonal versatility, it's also a thing of beauty. It is a thing of beauty. The mahogany body is adorned by an arched quadruple A flame maple top, which it is. These attractive grade is showcased beautifully by the high gloss finish. So it is not a veneer, it is a flame maple top. Binding on the neck, binding on the body. I assume it's binding, not just paint. It does look really good. It's a very, very well made guitar. I don't like the pickups at all. They are just generic, they just sound like generic pickups to me. There's nothing special about them at all. I'm not going to slag them off. They do put out sound, but I played it, they're pretty low output. I'd say we're probably about 8K, if that. Everything else about it looks pretty good. I've not checked the frets, but looking at the frets, there are scratches in the frets going that way, going across the frets. So the frets have not been polished that well, because they certainly haven't got the scratches out, not properly anyway. Frets wise, are they level? I have absolutely no idea. There's a little bit of relief in the neck, so what I'm going to do is we'll just slightly loosen the strings till that relief comes out. I'm just going to quickly whiz across with a fret rocker. You're going to see it as I see it. I've not checked the frets or anything. Now, one thing I know about this, a guy bought it in, says it's got fretboards all over the place. Well, the neck was more or less dead straight. There's no relief in it at all, and the action is pretty low. So it definitely needs a setup. That neck is pretty much almost straight. Let's get some. So I'm doing my special new guitar setup, which is still 35 quid. I've not advertised it for yonks. I thought people had forgot about that. And there you go, that neck's just about straight. So we're going to have a look, get a fret rocker, just look at a couple of frets. Going to whisk straight down the middle. I've not checked them myself at all. If there are no high frets, that'll be great news. It means I've not got to charge any extra and blah blah blah. Straight away, one high fret, two high frets, three high frets out of 5, 4, 5, Right, this guitar needs a fret level 6, that's really high. And that one's 7. 8 high frets, and these aren't just a little bit high, these are very high. Right, the guitar needs a fret level straight away, that's 115 quid with the setup. With no way around it. I'm going to let the owner know, and if he wants me to proceed, I'll crack on and get it done. Good thing about this guitar is it only costs £170. £170 plus £115 for a fret level and a setup is not that bad, is it? That's going to cost him basically 160, 170, so 285 quid for a really good guitar. I would change those pickups out, another 50 quid or another 60 quid on some nice iron gears, and 25 quid to install, another 85 quid. You'd be looking at, what are we looking at? 60, about another 200, about 360 total outlay on this. You've got a really, really nice guitar. I personally would change those pickups, but it's up to the owner. He says he likes them, so we'll leave them in, but it definitely needs a fret level. We have 8 high frets, that's just checking them quickly. 3 of them are really high, but all of them need doing, so I'm going to let him know it's a fret level, and if he wants me to do the work, we'll crack on, get it done, and you'll obviously see in the video. If he doesn't want me to do the work or do a fret level, you'll never get to see this video because it won't exist. There you go. So, such a shame. As cheap as the guitar is, you know, it needs a fret level, so that takes the shine off it a bit. But again, I mean, really, what are you expecting from £170? Now, you just see I've removed the not straight edge. I've got the not straight edge on my guitar. I've just altered the truss rod just to get the neck dead straight, which it is. Going to remove the not straight edge. This by GMI, by the way, my chosen tools. I've seen the guy Harris making these. I've seen the machines he uses, and how straight and level he gets these. I only buy tools from him now. I don't buy from Stumac or any of these places like I used to. And this is a GMI fret rocker. This is the straightest fret rocker I have ever owned, and I've had all of the best in the world. So we've got the neck dead straight. Before I go on and check the level of these frets, by the way, there are scratches going this way across all of the frets, from this fret to that fret, all the way. It means they've not been polished out proper, if indeed they have been polished. You can't see at the moment. I doubt the camera would pick it up anyway, but take my word for it, with scratches all this way. It means they've not been polished that way with finer grits of sandpaper, which is a shame. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go across all of the frets with the fret rocker. I'm hoping you can see that the neck is dead straight. Again, take my word for it. Just have a quick look. That neck is dead straight. Something else on the guitar, the nut is probably, it might be some man-made type of man-made composite, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be graphite or something similar. It wouldn't hurt to have changed that nut, stuck a Graphtec or a bone nut on there. I would like to see a bone nut on there. But anyway, we're going to go across. We've got fret rocker, GMI tool again, and we're going to mark down all of the frets to see where they're high. You just need to hear that rock. I'll explain what a fret rocker is. It's a 4-sided measuring tool, milled perfectly level, so we can check 3 frets at a time. The reason we do 3 at a time is, if it rocks, we know the one in the middle is high. So we just alter its shape and turn it over, where we can always measure 3 frets, like so. Like I said, we're going to mark off all the areas that are high. Listen. That's 1 already. Really high there. That's high all the way across. That is 2. Three. 4, 5, that's really high. No wonder it was getting fretballs everywhere. That's 6. Certainly these would need re-crowding and polishing anyway. 7. 8. Don't forget, the first time I checked them, the neck wasn't dead straight because I still had strings on it. I got it relatively straight. Stupidly high, this one. 9. 10. 11. This one's stupidly high as well. That's 11 high frets. And you're going to get this with cheap guitars because you're not going to spend time leveling frets properly and recrowning and polishing them. They're just going to be pressed in on a machine and just left. And another high one. There you go. That is 12 high frets out of 22. 12 of them are high. So I'm just going to mark them all off. Only a complete fret level would sort these out. So getting back to why don't we spot level? Well, say for instance this fret here, fret number 13 is high all the way across. Now, let's just show you it's high all the way across. There you go. Now if I remove material from this fret, it's going to alter the relationship with these two frets next to it and these two this side of it. So if I remove material from that and get that level with these two, it could happen that these two are now high. So we have to alter them. So if I've got 5 frets to do, blah, 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 just spread it across the fingerboard, I can probably just do it one at a time, you know, and we're going to be pretty much where we need to be. But once we get above 5 frets, if I alter that one, it could affect these two. If I alter this one, it'll affect these two and these two. Sorry, these 4 each side, 2 each side, you see. So once we get to about 4 or 5 or 6, the best way to do it is just to level the whole lot. On this one, we have 12 high frets. I'm going to mark them all back off so I know where I need to work. Not that I really need to know where to work because I'm going to go with a leveling beam. I'm going to level the lot. But this just shows me where the main work needs doing because I'm going to spot level before I actually go with a leveling beam. I'll explain what that is when I get on with it in a bit. I'm not doing this today. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark off all of these frets. I'm going to go across with a fret rocker again one final time just to show you. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 high frets. So let's go in reverse order from 21 down. Not straight edge on there, make sure the neck is dead straight. Yep, nothing has moved there. You need to listen now. 1, 2, these are really high, all really rocking. 3, 4, you can see that visually rocking, that's probably one of the highest I've ever seen. 4, 5, that's not so bad, but it is rocking. 6, 7, really high. That one just a little. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there you go, we're going to level the lot. I will need to get the fingerboard taped up. I'm going to cover the pickups, get everything out of the way that we need out of the way, tape over the body so we don't mark anything to do with the body, and we're going to level the whole lot in one go. I may remove the nut, I may get away with actually leveling with the nut still intact. I don't want to remove that nut because there's a lot of lacquer on it. If I remove that, the lacquer could crack and we're going to cause more problems. I'm going to leave the nut there. I've got to work around to level these frets with the nut still on. I'll explain more about that when I do it. This is going to go back in its case for a day or two till I can get to it. I've got other work I've got to do. I just wanted to get something down on video just to show where the frets are high and how many we have. So yeah, pretty shocking really. 12 frets with our rocking, so we need to level the whole lot. Decided I'm going to remove the nut, so I'm going to show you how I do that. And it should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but I have in the past, when I've knocked them off, I've took a big chunk of basically the top veneer on the headstock with it. So what you've got to do is you basically got to score far side, just score. Then come near side, you want to score just where the nut meets the headstock, and it's just a matter of just nice and gentle, firm, but you know, try not to slip, because you're probably scratching everywhere. So that should have broke any seal, and all we're going to do is I'm going to take my not straight edge, my fretting hammer, and we're just going to knock this, and it should just knock out. And there you go, that has knocked. That came out really, really easily. So let's just pull it back, and there you go. We've got the nut out, and we've got it out clean. Nothing stuck on there. The reason I want to take it out is this black on here. I imagine it's from a finish, and there's some glue residue on there, you can see. The reason I wanted it off is because I wanted to file this off and sand it off. And let's have a look. And there you go. That is a graphite nut. I'd have liked to see a bone nut on there, but you're not going to see a bone nut on an £170 guitar. But the reason I've taken that off is we can sand, whatever that is, we can sand that off. And get the nut nice and clean, see, there you go. I'll sort that out later. We'll bang that in there. So the nut is off, that makes everything easier for me to level the frets. So we're going to check that the neck is dead straight. I've not touched this since you last saw it. Yeah, that neck is dead straight. Now, if I do remember, did I write which frets needed work? Because obviously the pen's rubbed off. I can see where it's been in some places, but it's rubbed off in others. So if I go to its case and look inside, normally, knowing how I work, I normally put it in the front pocket. Let's go in the front pocket and in there, and there you go. And there's a key with all the frets and where they need levelling. So I'm going to check again and mark them up again as I do it. So this is saying fret 2, area 2, which is right. Fret 4, all areas. You can hear all of that. Fret 6, area 2. Yep. Fret 8, area 2. And that's it, we're exactly there. So my key is working correctly. I do number. Normally I number areas 1, 2, 3. So here we've got 2, which means in the middle, 4 in the middle, 6 in the middle, 8 in the middle. Now look at the key, 12 area 3, 13 everywhere, 14 area 1, 15 area 3, 17 area 2, 18 again 1, 19 1 and 2. Well, I've got 2 and 3 on here, but would it show a lot. 21 area 2. So they're the area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 high frets. Did we say 12? Yep, there you go. So that's where we're going to be working. So I'm going to basically spot level each one before I get the leveling beam on there. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to cover the pickups and make sure they're out of the way. So make sure we can't hit anything. The way we do that is we'll lay this on top and see if there's clearance over the pickups, which there is. So now what we're going to do is take some Scotch 3M tape, low tack, and we're going to cover the pickups. Like so. You don't want to get any crap in there. So that's the pickups sealed. We're also going to go side of the neck, because I'm going to be working in that area anyway, with a file at a later date. Just going to cover all that up. Here. Just saves me doing it all later. Because when I'm using a file, I don't want to be digging into the body. There you go. I can work around that just about. If I have to, I will rivet tape and I'll drop that inside the guitar. Sorry you can't see a lot. I was intending to keep the video running, but there you go. So that is ready for me to level the fret. So I'm going to prepare my tools and I will come back and show you how I do that very soon. Before I crack on with leveling the frets on this guitar, I just want to show some pictures I've taken. And I've taken some pictures of the guitar. I'm just going to show you so we're all on the same page and you know it's the right guitar. Right, let's go back. So there's the guitar. Yeah. And I'm going to scroll back just to show that this is the same picture, same guitar, same guitar, same guitar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and zoom in and just show you. I'm going to come right up to the camera and I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you these frets. And the scratches going this way on all of these frets. And you'll probably see it better there. I'm probably a little bit too close, I don't know. Scratches all going this way. That means the frets weren't properly polished anyway. You're not going to get properly polished frets. And there's another picture there. This is all the same guitar. I just wanted to zoom in and just to show the frets to the camera. Looks all the scratches going that way. Now when I turn, I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to put the camera back on the guitar. That there should do it. I'm going to zoom in because you're going to be able to see me work like that. I don't have an assistant to come and sort this out for me, but there you go. That's where I'm going to be working on it anyway. And this fret I've just shown you where the lines are going all across is this fret here. Now the all of the lines go in that way. All of them, every single fret. It means we've not been polished out. That you're supposed to polish them that way and you get rid of all those scratches. And that's what happens when you polish frets. These have not been polished, we've just been levelled. That's why those scratches are in that way. And they've not been levelled that well. Well, they've been levelled crap, because you've seen how many high ones we've got. So I just wanted to show that and get that on camera, because that is very shoddily done. So this is what happens when you pay 170 quid for a guitar. Now, don't get me wrong, this guitar for £170 is fantastic. For someone like me, I could go and buy one of these, right? I'll change the nut, I'll whip the frets out, I'll refret it, and I'll put some new pickups in. That would cost me a bit of time. Fret wire will cost me 15 quid, new nut will cost me 10, it's 25 quid, some decent pickups, 70 quid. That's 95 quid and about 10 hours doing the refret. So 95 quid in 10 hours, I would have an absolutely amazing guitar. So that is going to cost me 270 quid. So don't get me wrong, we're a great guitar, but consider that you've got to have a fret sorted out, probably a new nut, and you'd probably like to upgrade the pickups. These pickups aren't as atrocious as I probably made out earlier in the video. It's just, for me, they didn't do anything. They are just, it's like picking up a made in Indonesia Squire Strat, one of the really cheap ones, you know, the £129 ones you get at Christmas time, with just generic pickups in there that actually just, all they do is transfer sound. So that's what it's like to me. But looking closer at these frets, the frets let it down badly. They let it down a lot, just looking at them. As I'm looking at them now. So without further ado, we're going to crack on and we're going to get these frets done. So we're going to show where we are. Really high, really high, really high, quite high. That's every second one. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my levelling file. This is a diamond file. I do believe it's 300 grit. Got this from Chris Allsop on eBay. I think it cost me about 25 quid. Ground perfectly flat, diamond coated, does the job really, really well. And I'm only going to spot file these ones that need the work. So I know from experience that's going to give me resistance. But when I stop getting resistance, I know it's close to where it needs to be. But I'm going to do a few at a time. So I'm going to work up and down the neck. In the areas I really need to work on. And what I'm doing here is, you'll see all the detriment light and all the umscale coming off there now. I'm going to spot level the ones that need height removing, and once that's done I'm going to level the lot in one go with a proper levelling beam. We're going to follow the radius. I'm not pressing down, I'm pressing down a little bit, but very, very lightly. And having my key to my map in front of me, I can see, I'm going to wipe the file, but I can see where I need to be. So what I'm going to do is every now and again I'm going to come back and I'm going to check the fret. And now we've already got that, it's not rocking anymore. Now was number 4, soft fretsies. Number 6 is now level. Number 8 is level, so it's very soft fret wire. This isn't going to last long at all. Another thing, you see, this will be 12% nickel silver. I've been refretting for years with 18% nickel silver, which is twice as hard. And for the last year, I've been using 25% nickel silver, which is the hardest nickel silver fret wire on the planet. It's made by Syntoms, it's called Syntoms Elite, and I love it. Probably the last 12 refrets I've done over the last year have all been using the 25% nickel silver. So again, there you go, number 8. From 8 we should go into 12, number 3. Oh, we know that's high. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So we're going to move along. And basically I'm just going to go across all the frets like this, following the radius. This isn't going to take as much work as I thought it would, because these frets are really soft. They're not going to last on these frets. I'll be thinking in a year's time this is going to need a refret, because these frets are going to be worn. That's pretty good. Right, fret 13 was all 3 areas. It's already level, so it's really, really soft fret wire. Things, if you're paying £170 for a guitar, it's got Grover tuners on it, it's got a maple cap top, it's got strap locks on it, and it's got the finish that you can see and binding on the neck. They are going to skimp somewhere, and it looks like they're skimped, definitely skimped on the frets. We'll probably find that the frets are now level, just with that little bit of work. I'm going to check the frets all over. It's taken no work at all to remove the extra material I needed to remove, which tells me straight away it's soft fret wire. I don't get that. Charge another 50 quid and put stainless steel in and level it. Sure people would pay it. Fantastic looking guitar. It's going to play brilliant once I've done this. I'd definitely be changing the nut as well. We're not going to do that on this because it's not been commissioned. I don't have any in stock anyway. But I'll be looking, you'll be looking to put a bone nut on this. Again, weigh it up. You get the guitar for 170, have a bone nut put on there, it's going to cost you 50 quid. You're going to want frets levelling. I would actually, if I was buying one of these myself, I'd buy it with refretting it in mind. I definitely want some harder fret wire on there, maybe even some stainless steel. Thing is, I can do that. The frets are level. That's it. I can do that. I can do a refret. It's going to take me a day. You know, but then again, it's what I do. Let me just grab a pen. I'm not expecting everybody out there to be able to go and do a refret. You have to pay me, and the thing is, you're going to be starting at 175 quid for a refret. Right, I'm going to pen all of the frets. I'm going to take a levelling beam, I'm going to level the lot, then I'm going to take a radius block, and I'm going to check the radius. I'd imagine this will be a 12-inch radius. Don't quote me on that because I've not checked it. But these frets are now flat or level. I removed quite a bit of material and it's taken no work at all, so definitely soft fret wire. Again though, the guitar is well worth 70 quid. But bear in mind, you might go and get one with the frets level. Pot luck. You can have some come out of the same factory absolutely superb and never need any work or anything. But you just don't know. But I'm going to imagine this is a 12-inch radius, so we're going to check. Now you've noticed lately I've been keeping the tape running, keeping the camera running. And I like to do that because you're not missing anything. And you're learning or finding out about the guitar as I'm finding out about the guitar. Now is this going to be a 12 or a 14? Let's have a look. I've got a 12-inch radius gauge there. No, it's flatter than a 12, I believe. It could be a 14. Because there's a gap in the middle, so let's look at a 14. I'd be surprised if it's anything flatter than a 14. It's a 14. 14-inch radius, par for the course, nice and flat. Yeah, definitely a 14-inch radius. That's good. Right. So now we have the frets level, spot leveled. We are going to take a leveling beam. I happen to have one here. 2 by 1 inch box section, steel. This milled perfectly flat. This side is not flat, or not as flat as I thought it was, so that needs redoing, but this side is perfectly flat. I've got some old 240 grit paper on there, and we're just going to go across, and if we remove all this pen in a few strokes, we know that the frets are all level. So not pressing down, let the beam do the work. And all of the pen, oh it's not gone, there's a little bit here. As I say, all the pen's gone. Let's just give it a wipe. Keep going till all of the pen is gone. That was a little bit low, so that means we've got one high fret somewhere. And I think we're just about there. Grab a chair. So let's go across. We're going to pen them up again. I'm going to go across with a 14-inch radius block. Just to see we have a match radius. Should take no more than 2 or 3 strokes. If it does take more, it means the radius is not perfectly, it's not exactly 14. So the frets are level. Let's see if I've got a radius block in here with paper on it. Okay, it's got 240 on it, but it's old 240, so that will do. 14-inch radius. Again, pen up. I'd like it to have some 400 grit paper on there rather than 240, but I'm not gonna change it now. And maybe I'm gonna have a look at my aluminium radius beams in a minute, see if that's got any 400 on it. If it has, I'll just make it a little bit easier. Makes polishing easier later on. Great pen this. It's a blackboard marker. Whiteboard marker, should I say. I'll probably better off with permanent markers. Because you only got to breathe near this and the ink disappears. Well, you'll notice, by the way, I've got the 3-way selector. I put it inside, I took the back off. There you go. So, let me just go and check radius beams. I've got the aluminium ones down here. Let's have a look at that. 14, it's got no paper on it, so that's a shame. Got paper in it up now. So, we're going to go across with a 240 grit. Like I say, it's been well used, so let's just have a look, see what this is saying. And that's saying everything's fine. Just down this end here, not perfect, but we have a match radius all the way along, that's fine. Okay, so we are now ready to recrown. That's the frets leveled. That's really easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get everything taped up, tape between the frets, and we're going to recrown them. Just going to check one more time. Take my time now and be quiet. Beautiful. I've already polished my set of frets this afternoon on a Player Series Strat. I just need some strings putting on and setting up, and that's going to go back to its owner. So this is the second fret level recrown per day. Well, saying that, the other one was already, it was already crowned. I just needed to polish the frets on that one. So there you go, these are level. It's going to take me a short while to get everything taped up. But I'll get everything taped up. Once that's done, we can move on to the crowning. I will show the crowning process even though I do it on virtually every video I do when I do a fret level. It's because these videos are not for just my YouTube channel. These videos are specifically for the owner of the guitar, so he can see, or she can see, what they are getting done for their money. And that's why when people go on, why do you keep showing that? You've shown us 1,000 times. Well, the thing is, these videos are for the client, not for YouTube. It just happens that I put them on YouTube and people like them. Anyway, so there we go. Frets are level. What we've done now is, now we've leveled them though, we have flattened them. The tops are now flat like that, where once they had a crown going that way. So we're going to have to rebuild that crown before we can polish them. So I'll show you how to do that in the next part of the video. So stay tuned and I'll be back in a while. So I have a fingerboard all taped up, ready for crowning the frets. To crown the frets, what we need to do is, I'm just going to show you a couple. In fact, I'm going to show you 3, but I'm going to do them in different areas because it makes a difference. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's get these 5 done. Okay, so the frets are level. Bear with me, I need to grab some more files. Two files and a cleaning rag. Right, there you go. So we've levelled them. So what's happened is now we've now flattened the tops of the frets, and the tops are now quite wide. What we need to do is we need to recrown them like so. So we just have a little thin bit where the string meets the fret. We want that to be quite thin, and you normally be looking at somewhere around about 0.4, 0.5 millimeters. So we'll just check frets are level, which we know they are because I've just levelled them, and you've already seen all of that. The reason I'll show you why I've done 5 in a minute. So what we need to do is we need to create that thin black line down the centre. And in the old days, I'd have used a 3-cornered file, and I'd have filed and rolled over till we got a nice thin line down the centre. But those guys over at Stumac in America, Stuart McDonald, have what you call a Z file. And this has a short cut on one side, a long on the other, and you flip it 180. And it has a long cut on this side, short on the other. And what this does is, this will create that crown for you. And the good thing about this file is it will not touch the top of the fret. So it'll leave that thin black line. And I use 2 files for doing this now, and it's a lot quicker than it used to be. So what we're going to do is clean file, and watch this first fret. 3 strokes, turn it 180 degrees. 3 strokes again. And that is it. It's diamond file again. I do believe this is 300 grit again. Always give it a wipe after I've used it, and that has left a nice thin black line down the top. And what we're going to do then is we're going to take a profiling file. This one's already got the groove or the crown cut in, and just to remove any burrs or inconsistencies. And that's it. That's as much as you need to do. There's a thin black line down the top. It's about 0.4 millimeters wide, and that fret from being flat on the top is now crowned. So I'm going to show it again. And the reason I've done 5 is it'll become self-explanatory in a minute. And with these files, it's a lot quicker than it used to be. Look at that nice thin black line. Clean the file. And because we've got that thin black line down the centre, it means we've not removed any material from the top. And I'm going to keep going, and you're going to see how quick this really is. Again, always clean the file. 3 done. You can see if you concentrate, you can really get a nip on with this. And now what I'm doing is, the reason I've done 5 is, I'm going to show you the middle one first. And because we've not removed the tops, we've got a thin black line down there, we've maintained the height. So I'm going to take the middle one just to show, because the middle one, we can go 1 back, and we can go 1 forward to show that we've kept that height. consistent all the way through. We've not lost any of the height because we still have a thin black line down the centre. You may not be able to see it because of the light in the room, but each one of these still has that thin black line down the centre. These first 5 are done. I'm going to pen up the rest of the frets. I'm going to crack on, get the rest done, and once I've got these crowned, I'm going to knock off for the night. I've had a busy day today. You know, I work for Royal Mail. I'll be working Royal Mail again tomorrow, Saturday. But tonight, my wife is not well at all. So she's finished work at 5. She's in bed. She's not cooking. She's not doing any dishes. She's not doing any shopping. So I've got to go out and grab some tea. Because I've had nothing to eat proper today. And I've got to fend for myself. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab myself a couple of beers because my weekend has started. Me working 2 jobs doing this and working for Royal Mail. I like my drink at the weekend. I like a pint or 2 at the weekend. I had a couple of bottles tonight. Work tomorrow till 2, then I'll be back in here working till about 6, and then I'll have a couple of days tomorrow night as well, and that will be it for me. So I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to get the rest of these crowned. I will come back when I'm ready for polishing, and I'll show you again how we go on about polishing the frets and removing all the scratches. So I've been across with 7 grits of sandpaper from 400 right through to 2000. So the grits being 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000. Let's finish off with the finest grade steel wool, extra fine or super fine. If you want the grade number, it's at 0000. And how I start is I just go across the bevels first. These frets are looking great now, but they'll look even better once I've done this. So the bevel's done, and once I've done the bevels, I normally start at this end. Then it's just over the top, pinching the steel wool as you get there, and get into the sides, both sides, and finish over the top again. I'll show you on this one, you'll get an idea of how it is. So, over the top, into the corner, far side, into the corner near side, and finish again over the top. And already by looking at that fret, I can see that just looks wonderful. It is glass-like. Because we've gone with finer grits of sandpaper, we removed all of the scratches this way. We removed them all because we've been polishing that way. And with each finer grit, we remove more and more of a shine to the frets. That looks absolutely stunning, which is what we wanted. So I'm going to show a comparison. Remember earlier on the video I showed you how the frets looked with lines all going that way. I'm going to take a picture now. And the frets, I'm going to get as close as I can without it going out of focus. And these are the frets now. My goodness, they are amazing. Try and find some scratch marks on that fret there. You will not find any. Highly polished like glass. Superb. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get all of these done. Once it's done, I'm going to remove the tape. We'll glue the nut back on. We'll get some strings on, and we'll get it all set up. How's that? This is always the fun part of leveling frets and polishing and everything, is removing the tape. And the reason we put that long strip down the side is we can pull it all up virtually in one whole piece like so. And it just helps. It's just a lot quicker, a lot easier to remove everything with that one strip. Look at that, how easy is that? And again, so to just pull up this edge here, it'll bring all this with it. And look at that, fantastic. Any finers we've got are sticking to the magnets, but they're not sticking to the pickup because we taped the pickups over like so. We'll just brush it all away, all the detritus, all the gubbins there. And how good is that? Fantastic. And all I need to do now is just peel this side. And that's all of the tape peeled off. And that looks wonderful. Those frets look amazing. So if we get rid of that, I'm going to spray the fingerboard with some oil before I glue the nuts on. I'm not going to glue the nuts on yet. I'm going to move on to something else, 10 minutes. I've got plenty of other projects in the workshop at the moment. I'm just going to spread some mineral oil over the fingerboard like so. Let that soak in, that's going to treat the wood. It'll float off any crap that's on there. We're just about to wipe that off in 10-15 minutes. Shouldn't be a lot of rubbish on here because it's a new guitar. When I come to do the final part of the video, I'm going to talk about this guitar, whether I think it's worth it or not, and why I think maybe you should or should not buy them. I actually do think you should buy these guitars, no problem. But bear in mind, you're going to want some fretwork. I would also most definitely upgrade the nuts and the pickups. That is just my opinion. This guitar, I'm putting the original pickup back on and the original pickups are staying in. The owner seemed to think the pickups were okay in this guitar. That's his prerogative. That's up to him. If they're good enough for him, that is absolutely fine. Who is to say otherwise? I actually think they're crap, but that's my opinion. But then again, I do like a nice high output pickup because of the style of music I play. I don't always have a high output pickup, but I like pickups that have got a little bit of something unique about them. A bit of, you know, a little bit of punch, a little bit of grit, maybe. A little bit of soul. There's no soul in these pickups, I've found. They just put noise out. Well, basically they just replicate. Don't replicate anything. They just work. That's it. There's nothing else can be said about them. But anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, like I say, we'll let that settle 10 minutes. I'm going to get another guitar out, start a new project, and then we'll come back and get this. In the meantime, before I come back, I'll have the nut glued back on, wipe all the fingerboard down. We'll tighten all these nuts and bolts and screws and everything on the guitar. And we'll get this one set up a little bit later. So Houston, we have a problem. Plug the guitar in, no sound coming out. Now, when I put the guitar back together, this three-way switch fell to bits. There was absolutely no sound coming out of there. So we do have a problem, probably with this three-way. I'm going to replace the three-way switch regardless. No extra cost. I'm going to do it for nothing. I will have something in stock, I'm sure I have. Bear with me a second. You may as well stay there while we investigate. I'm thinking the three-way is the problem. So we're going to unplug, have a look inside. And what I'm going to do in there, I'm going to stick a regular Epiphone Gibson type three-way in there. The only problem with this is there's not a lot of room to work inside of here. Here is the three-way switch. We have got a short somewhere in there, I guarantee it. Yeah, it's just a short, I think. I'll plug back in and see what we can do. There you go. Let's just have a look at the switch. I may not need to replace that. Let's just have a look at the wiring inside. Just see what I can do. Yeah, but just a wire touching a wire that shouldn't have been touching. So it is a... Yeah, the problem was the three-way. That's absolutely fine. We don't have a problem there, I don't think. Or do we? It's gone off again now, look. So the problem is the three-way switch. There is a short in there somewhere. I'm thinking we should just change that. Because that those earth wires there are all over the place. Also pick up hot. So we definitely have a problem with the three-way. See what I can do. There's nothing I want to do with that. We're going to take that out. I'm going to replace it with another one. We're going to stick a regular, I'll see if I've got one in stock. If not, I'm going to use a slightly different colour. See what I've got. But we can't have that, we can't have it intermittent anyway. I'm sorry you can't see anything. Just all over the bloody place, that. Yeah, there's going to be a wire off in there somewhere. Something's not right. How about that? Yeah. This is knackered. So there is three-way. It fell to bits. It fell to bits earlier anyway. Look at it, it's all falling apart. I've decided to go with a regular Epiphone type three-way. I'd got knocking about with power straw. That'd be absolutely fine. Work a lot better than that one did. So I'm going to get on with the wiring. Really simple. I've got to connect the earth wires together. Got to put an extension on there. I'll use some just AWG 20 copper wire. That'll be the earth wire. We'll insulate that and we'll get that wrapped round and we'll get everything sorted out. So give me 5 minutes and I'll come back. There we go, guys. I've wired in a much better three-way selector. Don't know what you can see from there. We've got the earth wire going across the top, out of the way. Each of the 3 connector wires there are all out of the way again. Don't worry about that buzzing. That buzzing will stop once I've got it in. Everything's nicely earthed, just so you can get that in there. Just need to push some wires back and get that in there like so, and we should be good to go. Just need to get that in there. All being well, we've got enough sticking out. Oh, hang on, doesn't look like it. Oh, it is. There you go. There you go. Bridge. Oh, hang on, where's that the bridge? Might have it in backwards. Yeah, rhythm down there, that's right. Neck. Should be neck. Bridge off, that's right, we're good. We are so good. So we've got that little problem sorted out. Brand new switch in there. Took the old crappy one out. Put a Epiphone type, Gibson type one in there. I'll show you in a minute. I just need to tighten that. Wired that wrong way round. Too late now, that's treble, that's lead, that's rhythm, so whatever. Anyway, that's done. So everything's done bar the nut slots, and we're looking at the height of the strings above the first fret, and these are way too high. And I'll be looking to cut these nut slots down, and I'll be looking at, if you do want a measurement, once I've set the action at the 12th fret, which I have, and I've set the action at the bridge, I'll be looking at measurement in millimetres from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string. 0.3 millimetres this side, 0.2 millimetres that side. That's standard. That's what I'm going to go with. It's going to suit any player. If you want to go lower, you can go down to 0.15 all the way across if you want to. But this, you know, it's not anything. I'd like to go with a nice safe setting on a guitar like this. So that one is really, really high. Let's have a measure of that. Probably nearer 0.5 mil than it is 0.3. So we're going to take the 46. These are my new Hosco nut slotting files. And this is a 46. We're going to cut in for a 1046 set. I'm going to angle it down toward the tuner or the machine head. cut little, keep measuring. Go too deep, you're going to be cutting a brand new nut from scratch. These are really high, stupidly high. So I'm going to give it some. You don't want to be cutting these slots too deep, because if you do, you'll be replacing the nut. And that's going to take you time, and it's going to cost you money. But these are really high up. Wow, mental. Get a tuner handy so you can just keep checking your tuning. Still stupidly high. So cutting the nut slots, I like to go about 0.3mm above gap between the top of a fret and the bottom of a string on this side, about 0.2mm that side. Still got a bit of a way to go on this one. These nut slots are really high. Have a tuner to hand so you can get close. We're going to measure, and that one's just about there. We're just going to clean it up. And that one should be pretty good. Move on to the next one. So I'm going to keep these over here because I need to clean them in a minute. So we go to the 36. Again, same thing. I'm going to do this off camera. Same scenario. Don't go too deep. This is a, what's the one I'm looking for? I can't remember what kind of nut this is now. Graphite. That's the one. It is a graphite nut. I'd like to see a bow nut on here, but you're not going to get a bow nut for 170 quid. We've got to make a saving somewhere. It's all way too high, so we're going to go deeper. I'm going to crack on with this off camera. I'll come back and show you when it's done. Here we are, guys, all done. Last thing I did was cut the nut slots. Bit of a problem with the three-way, which I replaced. The first one, the original one, fell to bits when I was putting the guitar back together. The electrics wouldn't work, but let's just recap what we've done to this guitar. Came in, it's a brand new guitar. It just became evident that the frets were all over the place. We needed fret leveling, so we've leveled the frets. It's a shame on a brand new guitar you've had to level the frets, but end of the day, £170 guitar. You've got a maple top, you've got binding on the neck, you have a push-pull pot on there, you have Grover tuners. It looks amazing. So considering you're spending 170 quid on a guitar like this, fantastic. You also get locking strap locks on there. But consider if you're 170 quid, they're going to cut corners somewhere, and unfortunately they cut corners on the frets, on the nut, and on the pickups. I don't like the pickups, I think they're rubbish. The nut, graphite nut, I'd put a bone one on there, and it's had a fret dress. This is great for me to buy something like this because I can actually do the frets. I could even refret it, get a new nut on there, get some pickups on there. It's great, but consider you've got to pay. If you want to upgrade the pickups and go fret level, you're going to be looking in the region of 200 quid. Does that make it cost effective? I don't know. You could be the judge of that. But a beautiful guitar. It's a Harley Benton Custom single cut, or an SC Custom guitar. Looks fantastic. It's all done. So one thing left to do is to remind you of my website, which is facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. My name's Victor. I am your fret friend, and until next time, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you next time.